It is Saturday the 18th of February, only just though, because it's literally 11:59 p.m. But hello and welcome to this week's reading vlog. Yes, I know that I said that I was going to check in on Sundays and Fridays. I still plan to do that, but I need to talk to you all because I am less than half an hour away from finishing the current book I'm reading, and we need to have some words, okay? So, let's put it up on the screen. It's this book, Decaffeinated Corpse by Cleo Coyle. This is book number 5 in the Coffee House Mystery Series, Cozy Mystery Series, and I am really loving this book. Now I know I'm only half an hour away from being done. I don't know who the killer is, although I have very strong suspicions that for only the second time in my cozy mystery reading life, I think I know who the killer is. But we're going to see. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'll let you know tomorrow if I was right. But I have to say, a big part of the reason why you're getting this bonus check-in on a Saturday is because of the murder itself in this particular book. So, let's quickly talk about the premise. In this one, we're continuing to follow Claire Cossey, and she, in case you don't know, she runs this coffee shop business. She and her husband are equal partners. The owner of the shop is her ex-husband's mother, whose name is simply Madame. I've grown to love Madame over the course of this series. She is just fantastic. If you are looking for an older woman who is just, oh my gosh, she's fantastic. I love her so much. It's hard to describe specifically. But yeah, if you are looking for an older woman who is just more eager to be on board for an investigation than any other elderly woman I've read about in any cozy mystery series in my life, pick up the Coffee House Mystery Series for Madame. You will love her. But anyway, talking about the murder. So, okay, in this particular one, Claire's ex-husband, Mateo, but she calls him Matt, he has a friend that was a friend of both of theirs before the pair broke up, but he's stayed in contact with this guy, and this guy has perfected the art of the decaffeinated coffee bean, and he is going to give them exclusive rights to this miraculous decaffeinated coffee bean. And yeah, the book goes into a lot more detail. I wish I was as much of a coffee aficionado as Claire and Mateo are. I'm not. But anyway, I didn't know how rare it is to get a true decaffeinated coffee bean. But anyway, that's interesting. But that's still not why we're here. We're here because something is going on with this whole decaffeinated coffee bean situation, and that's a mystery, and it was an interesting mystery. And then we get about two-thirds, somewhere between two-thirds and three-quarters of the way through the book, and then the murder happened. And I remember going, oh, it's a bit late, Cleo Coyle, to be introducing the murder three-quarters of the way through. But then I thought, actually, I love this. And the reason I do is because there are two murders that occur. I can say that. That's not a spoiler. There are two murders that occur. We get to know enough information about these people that die before they do for me to not only be invested enough in them before they are murdered, but for me to be so invested in trying to work out who the killer is. I am someone who loves my cozy mysteries for the cozy aspect. It takes a lot for me to be on board with trying to solve the mystery, and a lot of the time these days, especially because I'm so bad at solving the mystery, I just go along with the flow of the mystery but enjoy and appreciate the cozy aspects. But in this one, because the murder didn't happen until 3/4 of the way through, or the two murders didn't happen until 3/4 of the way through, I know enough about these characters to be invested in them, the victims, to be invested in them. I know enough about the characters that surrounded them, the plausible reasons that might lead to them being the killer or killers, depending if they're the same killer, same person, or different people. I am just so intrigued by this. So, I think I know who the killer is. I have a very, very good feeling about this, but it's dangerous, me having a good feeling about it, because if I'm wrong, it's gonna let me down big time. But I'll say this much. Without giving anything at all away about the two deaths, I will just say this. The second death, so there's two deaths, we see the first one, then we hear about the second one. The second death, I'm pretty sure I know who the killer is for that one. Can't wait to find out if I'm right on that one. So my plan is to finish Decaffeinated Corpse tomorrow. Like, as I said, I've literally got half an hour left on audiobook, so it's going to be very quick. And then I'm going to dive right into French Pressed, which is book number 6 in this Coffeehouse Mystery series. And then after that, I plan to go finally back to Mistborn: The Final Empire. I planned to do that last week, and it just didn't happen. But if tomorrow I can finish both Decaffeinated Corpse and French Pressed, I'm going to be really, really, really happy, because then, regardless of how much time I'll have to read Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, what I'll be reading is Mistborn: The Final Empire. I've read it that many times, I love it that much, that it won't matter how much time I'll have to read, because I know I'll just enjoy myself all the way through anyway. Did that make any sense to you? I hope it did. Welcome to this week's reading vlog. I'll check in with you all again tomorrow to wrap up the weekend before we get on with the rest of the week. Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're enjoying your read. See you soon. It is Sunday, the 19th of February at 6:47 p.m, so I'm going to check in and wrap up the week. First off, let's put Decaffeinated Corpse up on the screen by Cleo Coyle. This is book number 5 in the Coffeehouse Mystery series. Okay, so spoke to you all yesterday or last night and said that, you know, I'm pretty sure I know who the killer is. I was dead wrong, and I was let down, but I need to point this out. I was not let down by the fact that I was wrong. Not at all. I've only ever guessed the killer or the mystery once in any of all the cozies I've read. So it doesn't let me down that I'm wrong. What lets me down in a reveal is if the reveal itself is a letdown, and the reveal did let me down a lot. Okay, very quickly, I'll remind you of the premise. In this one, Claire and Mateo's old friend Rick comes to town, claiming to have created the best ever decaf. However, it seems someone wants to steal it from Rick, and Claire jumps right in to see what she can do to stop this mysterious antagonist from stealing Rick's creation, or worse. So, look, I loved this book overall. I gave it 4 stars. I think the discussions that Cleo Coyle has regarding coffee are amazing. You can tell she is passionate about coffee. Not coughing. That'd be interesting if we have a cozy mystery about coughing. You can tell she's passionate about coffee, because she'll pick a topic to do with coffee in every one of these books and go into greater detail about that specific topic to do with coffee. Why is that so hard to say? I don't know. But in this particular one, it's decaf. And I really, really appreciated that we got a lot of information about decaffeinated coffee, how it's grown, why it needs to be grown in a certain way, where it's grown, why the decaf coffee is different to your standard coffee. In the beginning of the book, it seems like Claire, our protagonist, has the attitude that a lot of coffee drinkers have, which is, why bother with decaf? It's not coffee. But I appreciate that we still get a whole ton of information about decaf itself, what it is, let's say, how it's grown and how it differs from your standard coffee, but not just in basic form of it's decaffeinated, but, it goes into major detail. I really appreciate that. I loved the mystery so much. I really, really enjoyed the mystery, but the reveal let me down so much that I had to dock a star. So I was wrong, but what let me down was the reveal and not the fact that I was wrong. All right, so now let's talk about the book that I started and did finish today. I had a goal to finish both books 5 and 6, so let's put book 6 up on the screen. It is French pressed, book number 6 in the Coffeehouse Mystery Series by Cleo Coyle. Okay, same deal. I'm going to give you this spoiler, not spoiler of the book, but spoiler for my rating right off the bat. Same deal. Loved it. Hated the reveal. Hated the reveal in book 6 more than I did with book 5. And we'll get into maybe something to do with that in a moment. I don't know, because it's spoilery, so I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's talk about book number 6 and its premise. So, book number 6, not happy with Joy's relationship with Monsieur Chef, who I've forgotten his name, but anyway, Tommy, but I call him Monsieur Chef. Joy decides, Claire decides to go to Joy and Monsieur Chef's restaurant, Solange. However, before she can even get there, Joy calls her to let her know one of the kitchen staff have been murdered. Not too much later, another murder occurs, and Joy is at the top of the police suspect list. Can Claire save her daughter and get her off that list and find whoever the actual killer is? Okay, in this one, the coffee discussion revolved around pairings, which was really interesting. So like with wine, how wine can be paired with certain foods, apparently so can coffee. I was blown away by that discussion. As much as I was blown away by the decaf discussion in book 5, I was blown away by the pairings discussion with coffee in book number 6. I've also started realizing that Cleo Coyle writes a perfect hybrid of cozy and mystery. So it's not exactly cozy leaning or mystery leaning, it's both. And in book 6, it is perfectly done. The first half of the book is extremely cozy and focuses on that coffee side, so you get all of that coffee information. The second half of this book is the mystery, and so you can fully focus on the mystery side. I really appreciated that. I, once again, enjoyed the mystery side of it, like trying to solve who the murder was and doing all the investigative work that Claire Cosi does as an amateur sleuth. But the reveal could not have been any worse, or at least I don't think it could have been. And I think what I'll do, excuse me, with regards to the reason why it let me down is I'll just refer you to my Goodreads. I have spoiler tags there, so if you've read the book and you want to know more, you can check that out. It is there. It is hidden under a spoiler tag. So yeah, you can go ahead and check that out if you want. But anyway, I end up giving this book 4 stars, same as book number 5. And yeah, that basically wraps up the weekend. I read 2 books in 2 days. That makes me very happy. I'm back on target. So what is the plan for this week? Well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, my plan is to focus completely on Mistborn: The Final Empire, which has me so happy because it doesn't matter how much reading I get done. I've read it many times and I know I love it. So I'm not going to be as upset as I was last week. But the goal at this stage is to check in on Friday, the absolute latest, but I may even check in earlier if I want to discuss more Mistborn with you all. And then I will close out February the 27th and the 25th and 26th, which is the Saturday and the Sunday, I will read Amina's Voice and The Magician's Nephew, which will wrap up the rest of my TBR. And then on the 27th and the 28th, I'll continue my read of The Final Empire. If I don't finish The Final Empire by the end of the month, that's absolutely fine. I'll carry it on to next month. All right, that's my update. I'll see you either on Friday, or if I decide to check in earlier, I'll see you then. Happy reading. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of February. I had to think for a moment what month we're in. I almost said something else, I don't remember. Anyway, I thought I would do a bonus check-in with you all because, yeah, I've gotten to a certain point in the Final Empire, so I thought I'd discuss it. So let's put Mistborn, the Final Empire up on the screen. Okay, so I am currently 202 pages in to this 659-page book. So I have, yeah, practically around 450 pages left to go. But once I reached let's have a look here. Once I reached page 185 or so, I made it to part 2. So, thought I would do a quick chat on how part 1 has gone for me. Yeah, so I'm going to say things in a spoiler-free way, obviously, but I just, yeah, please appreciate how hard that's going to be for me because I want to talk in spoilers so much. Okay, this is, I think, the 4th time I'm rereading this book, ever since I first read it in February of 2020. It is my favorite book of all time. Mistborn Era 1 is my favorite series of all time, but Mistborn the Final Empire is very, very, very special to me, and I don't like to play favorites with my books, but if I ever was to, Mistborn the Final Empire is my favorite. So, okay. Quick premise. We follow a woman by the name of Vin, who is a teenager who is working for an all-male thieving crew who treat her absolutely horribly. Then one day she is rescued by a man named Kelsier. He has his own crew, an all-male crew, and they treat her a whole lot better. Aside from this whole look at the characters, or at least our main character and her experiences, I should say, the main purpose of the plot is that Mistborn the Final Empire is set in a world where the bad guy won and he's been living for thousands of years, and Kelsier, the leader of this specific crew that Vin ends up becoming a part of very early on in the book, has a plan to overthrow the Lord Ruler, the big bad guy. And so he is getting a crew together, at least at this stage, he's getting a crew together to try and defeat the Lord Ruler. This is a YA or adult. It really is an odd book to characterize by age range because apparently it originally was released as an adult book and then it was reproduced as a YA. So I'm still trying to work out what's going on here. But to me, I call this an adult fantasy because when I compare it to my YA fantasies, to me, this comes across as an adult fantasy, not a YA one. The magic system regards and revolves around ingesting certain types of metals that offer certain abilities for certain amounts of time, depending upon how much of the metals you have consumed. There are different types of beings that have different types of abilities in this world, but like with every fantasy, not everyone has magical abilities. Those who do have one type of magical ability are known as mistings, but then there is the very rare 1 in every 1,000 people who has every type of magical ability with every type of metal you can ingest, and they are known as Mistborns. Vin doesn't know this or doesn't know it at the start of the book, but she is a Mistborn too. This is not a spoiler. She does work it out early on because when Kelsier makes her a part of his crew, it is because he has discovered that she is a Mistborn and he feels like he can do with her support on his team. I don't want to say that he feels like he can use her because that sets Kelsier up in a very different light to what he actually is. Kelsier is probably arguably my favorite male character of all time. And in 2020, I just called him my, a fictional boyfriend for the year. But he is my favorite male character of all time. He is such a wonderfully humble character. I love my humble characters. And, but he knows that Vin is a Mistborn. Vin doesn't even know that she is, let alone what her abilities are. And so we spend a lot of the first third of the book with Kelsier recruiting Vin, recruiting others for his crew to pull off this impossible mission of defeating this Lord Ruler who's ruled for thousands of years and who is immortal. And also with Kelsia trying to teach Vin this magic system, the abilities that she has. And along the way, we come into all different other characters as well. I have had a blast rereading this book. I really could honestly read this book and just reread and reread and reread this book and nothing else all year, and I will be happy. That's how much I love this book. But even on this third reread for me, fourth time round reading the book, I am still picking up on things. The foreshadowing of Brandon Sanderson is so incredible. There are things that I'm reading at the beginning of this book that I hadn't picked up upon until this particular reread, where I'm going, oh, he did this because of this and this and this that I can't say because it's a spoiler. But anyway, I put it under a spoiler tag in the Brandon Sanderson buddy read section of my Discord in case you want to check it out if you have read the book before. But hey, I was like, he had done this to set up this and this and this in this moment. Oh my gosh, how did I not know that the first time? But yeah, I love being back in this world. I love being back with these characters, particularly Kelsia. I love, or Kelsier, but in Australia we pronounce ER as an A sound, so that's why I say Kelsia and Americans say Kelsier, which is technically the way to pronounce his name. I love Kelsia. I love being back with him so much. I like Vin a lot, our protagonist, and there's another character in this book, Sayzed, who is, oh my gosh, if Kelsia is humble, Sayzed is the single most humble character I've ever met. I love Sayzed too. I love everyone. I love the whole crew. I love their dynamics. I love being back in this world. And I've spoken too long already, but I just want to say that I am thrilled to be up to page 202. As you all know, if you've been keeping up with my reading vlogs, I don't get a lot of time during the weekdays to read. So the fact that I'm here makes me really happy. To give you a better idea, I am listening to the audiobook of this book on graphic audio. I love graphic audio for Brandon Sanderson. I've been saying that for years. So if you follow me for years, you probably already know that. And if you haven't been, then check out graphic audio if you like listening to audiobooks. They are not affiliated with the channel. They do not sponsor the channel, but I will say this. They are a little more expensive, but they are so worth it. Oh my gosh. Graphic audio takes audiobooks, in my opinion, to the next level. They are just fantastic. So I'm really enjoying that. There are 3 parts to the graphic audio version of Mistborn: The Final Empire, and I am less than 1 hour away from being done with part 1. So yeah, very close to getting up to part 2, and it's just been a wild ride. I'm so happy to be here. I was complaining at this point last week about not having enough time to read, when now I'm seeing it as a bonus. Any chance I do get to read, I'm reading something I love, which is fantastic. So I'll definitely be continuing on with the series. In March, we are buddy reading Well of Ascension, and I will definitely be adding Well of Ascension to my TBR next month, and I'll do with Well of Ascension what I've been doing with Final Empire this month, where during the week, in March, I'll read Well of Ascension, and during the weekends, I'll read the books on my TBR. But having an absolute blast. This check-in took way too long, and I'm so sorry, but I just had to tell you all that I'm having an amazing time with my reading, and I hope you are too. All right, I'll check in with you on Friday to wrap everything up. Happy reading! It is Saturday, but, you know, just don't tell anyone. I forgot to check in last night and to wrap up this week's reading vlog. So can we pretend it's Friday? Come on, you guys. We can pretend, right? Okay. So even though it's Saturday and you and I know it's Saturday, let's just pretend that it's Friday. Okay? On Saturday, I'm now going to say it is Friday. Okay, and it's time to wrap up this week's reading vlog. All right. Good news about me checking in late is that I haven't read anything yet on the day that we're not saying that it is, and instead saying that it's Friday. So, yeah, I haven't read any more since Friday concluded. Okay, who cares? I am 379 pages into Mistborn: The Final Empire. Let's put up on the screen. So I'm definitely halfway through. I am I think halfway through is like 330 or 335 pages in. And yeah, what can I say? This has been the best reading week for me with regards to reading on weekdays when I don't have a lot of time because I'm working and stuff like that. So, okay, yesterday, who cares? On Friday, on Friday, I ended up having to call in sick to work. I woke up feeling like a truck had plowed into me, and it was hilarious because, on Thursday night, like this is the, okay, anyway, the irony. The irony is, on Thursday night, I was invited out to go and have a couple of drinks, a couple of alcoholic drinks. For those of you who don't know me, I either don't drink or hardly drink at all. I might have a drink on my birthday, I might have a drink for New Year's Eve, but I hardly drink at all. And I was saying to the person that invited me out for a drink on Thursday night, was a family member, by the way, just to clarify. I was saying to them, you know what, I would love to, but tomorrow's a working day, and so I don't want to be irresponsible and go out for a drink and then wake up hungover on Friday morning and miss work. But you know what, if you want to take me out and we'll have a drink on Friday night, then that will be fine. And then I woke up anyway on Friday, feeling like I was hungover. Like, come on, what the heck? I was trying to be responsible, and I still woke up feeling like I would if I had gone out drinking. What the heck? And I didn't. I swear I didn't. I'm so responsible when it comes to my job. But anyway, so I ended up calling in sick, and yeah, which was fine because I next to never call in sick. So they were like, oh gosh, if you're sick, get better soon. You're fine. So thank you. I appreciate that work. And I took a couple of hours to really try and recover, took some, medication and whatever. And then I started reading, and that's how I've gotten to where I'm up to. So I'm going to give you a bit of an explanation on Graphic Audio's audiobook version, which I read for my Brandon Sanderson Cosmere works. I highly recommend them. They are amazing, amazing music, sound effects, actors, you name it, narration. The whole thing is amazing. It's like a premium service. You pay more for it, but you know what? It's worth it. And for me, it's Brandon Sanderson, so it's doubly worth it. Anyway, in the graphic audio version of Mistborn and the Final Empire, they've split the audiobook up into 3 parts. So they've got Mistborn and the Final Empire Part 1, Mistborn and the Final Empire Part 2, and Mistborn and the Final Empire Part 3. Each part is separated into a 6-hour block. So there is no Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3. It's just 6 straight hours in 3 separate blocks. I yesterday had, I think, about an hour or 2 left of part 1, and I finished part 1, and I almost finished part 2. That's how much I ended up getting read. So I think I'm about an hour or just under an hour away from finishing part 2. So I've got roughly about 7 hours left of Mistborn and the Final Empire, which I could probably, possibly, potentially get done by the end of the month, but I do want to update you. I don't know when I'm going to be doing my monthly wrap. So if I end up doing my monthly wrap tomorrow night, which might be best for me, then I'll be doing it earlier because of the fact that it's the last Sunday of the month. And because of that, I won't have the Final Empire done, and I'll carry it over to March. But if I hold off and do my monthly wrap on the 1st of March, I can't think right now, the 1st of March, then I might be done by that point. Okay, quickly talking about Mistborn and the Final Empire. Alright, so, yeah, as I said, I am 379 pages into my favourite book of all time, and yeah, I am loving it. If you've been following me on the Discord, if you've been a part of the reading sprints with this book, you know how I've been reacting. And if you're not on the Discord for the reading sprints, basically every time I'm checking in, I'm saying, I'm up to here, and naturally I'm loving it because it's my favorite book of all time. I love everything about this book, and yada, yada, yada. And I do. I love everything about this book. There is a reason why this book is my favorite book of all time, because there's nothing in this book that I don't like. I love the characters. We follow a girl by the name of Vin, who to cut a long story short for the sake of timing, ends up joining an all-male thieving crew who want to overthrow the Lord Ruler who rules the final empire. The Lord Ruler is immortal. He's been ruling for 1,000 years, so it's an impossible task. How are they going to pull this off? Will they pull it off? Only time will tell. It is a fantasy, so we're dealing with a magic system. The magic system involves the consumption of metals, and certain metals will give certain people certain abilities. Again, just trying to rush through what this is. So I love the magic system. I love the plot. I love the characters in the crew. Oh my gosh, can I give a shout out to Breeze? I've been meaning to do this for a while. I love Breeze. Every time I read about the character of Breeze in this book, I keep thinking I need to mention Breeze because I love him so much and I keep forgetting to do so. So I'm doing it here. Breeze, I love you. Breeze is just a character who speaks very well, very, very well. He speaks perfect English, but he is incredibly witty and sarcastic with his retorts in the perfect way that he speaks. And I love those types of characters. And we have those types of characters in, Stormlight Archives as well, but we definitely get that with Breeze. I love Breeze. He's one of my favorite characters. Kelsier, my man, he is, like, I want to say officially that Kelsier was my bookish boyfriend for 2020. Yeah, nuts to that. Kelsier is my bookish boyfriend of all time, and everyone else, comes along when I read them, but honestly, Kelsier is my bookish boyfriend of all time. I love being with him. He's only in book 1, which annoys me. I think I need to go and read the standalone Mistborn Secret History after I finish The Hero of Ages, because we get more Kelsier in that one. But I am having an absolute blast. I need to wrap this up because this has already gone long enough as it is. But yeah, I am absolutely loving this. Loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. So let's quickly look forward to what my plan is for next week. So we're jumping into the weekend now, and I'm going to be reading a book that I called, that's put on the screen, Amina's Voice by Henna Khan. I am literally 13 seconds into the audiobook, so I haven't started yet. I've just finished the introduction, and in the introduction I found out that I've been pronouncing the name of the book wrong. It's not Amina's Voice, it's Amina's Voice. So I am so sorry. I had heard it pronounced as Amina's Voice many times, but apparently it is Amina's Voice. So I'm going to be reading Amina's Voice today, and then when that's done, I'll continue on with The Final Empire. And then tomorrow I'm going to pick up The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis, the first book for the Chronicles of Narnia buddy read we're doing over on my Discord. That will wrap up the month for me. Excuse me. And then on Monday, I'll continue on with The Final Empire. And then on, I don't know what day, on Wednesday, which is the 1st of March, I will jump on into Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, which is the 3rd and final book in the Infernal Devices series, which will help me to close out that series. And of course, then the new month begins. But that is where we're wrapping things up. This vlog has been way too long, mainly because of this final check-in. But that's okay. It's a reading vlog. It's allowed to go longer. Some people will listen all the way to the end. Some people will be bored and be done the first 5 minutes. It's fine. But if you have made it to the end, thank you so very much. Please leave the sun emoji below, because let's brighten up everyone's day by putting in the sun and have the sun shining on a cloudy day. Feels like a song. Anyway, but that is where I am going to leave it, letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Very quickly, actually, if you are still here, I want to do a quick poll. So, unfortunately, YouTube have taken away their ability to do actual polls, so I'll say it to you verbally. Let me know in the comments below. I am considering going back to doing either spoiler-free and spoiler, or just spoiler-free reviews of certain books each month. If you would like to see me do that, please let me know in the comments below. If not, that's fine as well. It's just something that I'm considering doing because I don't feel like I have enough time in my monthly wraps or my reading vlogs to really do deep dive looks into books that I absolutely love, deep dive discussions. So if you would like to see that happen, please do let me know. And if you've seen my monthly TBR and you would like to see me do a specific review on a book that you may be interested in throughout the month of March, please let me know that as well. If you can let me know that in advance, I would really appreciate it, because then, yeah, it'll give me more time to get the video out to you. All right, that's where we're leaving it. We are done for the week, closing out this week, and we are nearly done with February. Can you believe it? All right, letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind and love one another and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading. Bye, everyone.